Hello, people. Okay, so I am just going over some new stuff. Boop. I mean, this is crazy. The proposed total spending in 2013, 18% of the budget was in the military. That's ridiculous. Okay, I don't see the chat yet. Maybe it doesn't exist. Okay, well, there it is. Okay, this is my first time ever doing it like this. This is cool. Restream. Now, the proposed discretionary spending in 2013, 57% went to the military budget. That is ridiculous, especially when we see that even during peacetime, we had just even military outlay, the spending on it. We didn't go down during peacetime for an insane reason, except we know why, is because they spend millions of dollars every year lobbying the government. And that is atrocious. We need to put limits on that dark money. That should not be allowed to just flow through our political economy, because that means that people that start out insanely wealthy just continue to be insanely wealthy because they spend millions of dollars lobbying instead of fixing the country. That's why our tax code is so complicated, because H&R Block just spends so much money lobbying the government to keep their taxes insanely high. We can't allow that to continue happening. I also have no idea if I'm actually live right now. I could just be talking to myself because it's the first time I've ever done it like this. Hi to anybody in the audience. Try commenting, saying hi to me. I don't know if I can see it. I hope I can. I'm trying to see if I'm live anywhere. Yeah, it doesn't say that I'm live on Twitter unless it does. I have absolutely no idea how this works. Fun. Oh, no, I genuinely am. Okay, cool. Twitter works. Let's see. How does YouTube? Is YouTube working? I gotta look myself up on YouTube. Now, for anybody just coming into the stream, this is how much money military groups spend lobbying our government. And the real problem is they claim to care about, the people who serve our country, but they clearly don't, because they funnel all of our money into these huge monopolies that keep us in these forever wars. We need to get out of these forever wars, because the only reason they exist is that Lockheed Martin can sell more missiles to both sides. It's ridiculous. Now, Ben Braver FL. This isn't ask me anything. Ask me about what it's like running for office, what it's like being a teacher, being a Gen Z candidate. It's cool. Okay, I am live on YouTube as well with one person watching. Hi, one person on YouTube. Thanks for being here. Okay, where were we? Boom. I was also researching how DeSantis is squeezing the sunshine out of Florida's public records law. Now, it's called sunshine because we had the sunshine law in Florida saying that anything that was written by in the Florida government, anything that went through at least, I think, 2 or more hands, had to be able to be publicly available upon FOIA. However, DeSantis just got rid of the Sunshine Law, which is insane. And he kept public records, well, should have been public records, from the public eye on COVID infection data, which is one of the main things he claims as one of the positive attributes of his time in office, which we don't know because he's blocking the data. He's also blocking the release records of the controversial relocation of dozens of migrants to Martha's Vineyard. He's blocking records talking about how he illegally trafficked humans. That is insane. We should not allow him to have control over our government when he's blocking records about trafficking humans, especially when he claims to hate that when he claims to fight against that all the time. And it's a consistent theme with these Republican leaders when they cry wolf about anything, teachers being groomers. I just was doxxed by Libs of TikTok, which was terrible. And I got a ton of comments and calls calling me a groomer. And it hurts the system when you do that. Because if these people care about making sure that children aren't hurt, that's great. But go volunteer. And that's what I told them. Right now, I was looking through DeSantis's thing. There was something else I wanted to talk about. Oh, yes. His PAC. I was looking through all endorsements and all the the money that PACs give to candidates and which one does the most. And Lockheed Martin is the one I was looking at first, which apparently ranks 21 out of 8,790 PACs. So I was like, okay, what's the biggest one? Because, I mean, if they take 53% of the discretionary funding, then what is spending more money on them lobbying? And it turns out the biggest PAC last year was Empower Parents PAC. And I had never heard of this. So I looked deeper and I saw that they only donated to Never Back Down. So I had to look up what Never Back Down was. And it turns out Never Back Down was just a super PAC for DeSantis to spend however much money he wants. And there are many lawsuits about him rejecting FOIA requests and many lawsuits about him conspiring with that PAC, which you're not allowed to do. When there's a PAC that even if it's supporting you, you can't work directly with it. That's against election law. But he doesn't care. And he's keeping information that could show us, for instance, he was doing business on personal laptops. He's keeping those records out of our hands, which is ridiculous. We don't know his travel. So we don't know how much money the state of Florida spent protecting him. It's all ridiculous. Now, another thing, I was kind of changing pace, but another thing that I was looking at was the impact of educational investment on economic development in society. I do a bunch of economic researches in my spare time, but my favorite article has been this one, and it's actually incredibly interesting. Now, it looks absolutely not interesting because, this gross math, but what it tells us is how good of an investment investing in our teachers are. Because what we see when we plug in the numbers for this is that for every standard deviation increase, for every 10%, basically, the kids do better on their tests is like an extra $150,000 over their life. So, look, 13% per standard deviation of achievement yields a present value of 10,600 over a lifetime of work for average worker. Okay, I think this is from a different calculation about it. But that is still a fantastic investment. It means that whatever we're putting into teachers, we are 100% getting back from later economic yields. Now, even if 70% of the added learning, so the learning you get from having a better teacher keeps, we still have huge benefits. No matter whether we underestimate it, we still have great benefits from investing in our teachers, which it makes sense. When we educate our population better, we have a stronger economy. We have a more resilient economy. We have people who can learn better, who can learn more things. So if we need to switch from dirty energy to clean energy, that's great. And we absolutely should be switching from dirty energy to clean energy because clean energy is actually cheaper for the first time ever than dirty energy. There's one graph I like showing about this, but I'm a science teacher and I have to teach about it. And I get to tell my kids that they're looking into a brighter future because clean energy is much cheaper than diesel at this point or gas. Here, one study by the IRENA, Renewable Cost Database, shows us that the prices of these have gone down drastically over the past few years. And so it's cheaper to produce energy that doesn't hurt the environment than it does to it costs less to produce energy that doesn't hurt the environment than it does to produce energy that hurts the environment. They're projecting their bad behavior onto us. Exactly. Projecting is exactly what the Republican leadership does. And really, it's to keep us in a state of cognitive dissonance. Now, I was just reading how they banned in Collier County Aldous Huxley's A Brave New World. And actually, let me see. Do I have it right here? Yes, I have A Brave New World actually with me. They banned this. Now, it was actually a great book. I had to read it in high school. And what it's about is how to keep a population suppressed, how to keep them drugged up, how to keep them just doing work for the society. And it keeps them in a state of cognitive dissonance. That's what the Republican Party loves doing, because it says, look, the Democrats are doing whatever while they're really doing that. Supporting our troops. Democrats consistently produce bills to fully fund the VA and to make sure that veterans have all the benefits they can get. Republicans love cutting back on that. We need to make sure that we have people who are actually doing what they say they are, because the Republicans will say, yeah, we love our troops, then do nothing for them, and then blame Democrats for the troops not being able to feed their families. It's ridiculous. Now, yeah, there's a World Economic Forum. Pretty good. Renewables are the world's cheapest source of energy in 2020, new report shows. Sorry, this is out of focus. I was driving through Florida and I saw a field like this and I was like, oh my God, that's amazing, because we're producing more energy. Now, there was a bill introduced in Florida to make sure that people couldn't sell the energy they make back to the grid for as much as we have to buy it from the grid, which is ridiculous, because obviously 1 joule from a home solar panel and 1 joule from a monopolies like TECO, the Tampa Electric Company, the 1 joule of their energy, it's the exact same. You should be able to sell it for the exact same amount of money. So in fact, the government subsidizing those industries and not allowing us to sell it for the same amount of money is market manipulation that hurts the people, because it makes the market not free. It is government enforced monopoly, and it used to be understandable because it was very hard to produce your own power at home. Now with solar panels, it's easier to produce your own energy at home. Okay. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask me. Any policy you want to know about. I don't know if you noticed, but I like yapping. I like talking about policy. Feel free to ask me. Let's see. What else was I looking at? I have to answer emails. That's one thing I didn't realize I had to do as much as I really needed to, answer emails. What is happening? Am I not streaming on some of these locations? Edit channels. I'm on YouTube and I'm on X. Oh, wait. Checking the other one. Oh, face red, droopy eyes. Sorry, I was teaching all day. I'm tired. I don't know if I'm getting chats from every thing. I have no idea. Streaming disabled. Weird. Okay. What else should we talk about? What else is in the news? I can look at Twitter, just rant about Twitter. That actually might be fun, just ranting about Twitter. Share this tab instead. Okay. There we go. Increase can we see this? Boom. Okay, say it with me now. Vote no on Amendment 4. That's disgusting. I can't believe I said it with him. Just the facts about Amendment 4 allows for late term abortions. It allows for what is the exact language of Amendment 4? Amendment 4, Florida. The exact language is amendment to limit government interference with abortion law. No law shall prohibit, penalize, delay, or restrict abortion before viability or when necessary to protect the patient's health. Um, so you can have late term abortions, except does anybody know how many abortions get done before 26 weeks? Because it's 90 to 95%. There are very few people get late term abortions. And again, you should have the option to get an abortion regardless. The current limit on abortions is 6 weeks. Most people never know they're pregnant before 6 weeks. And in fact, because it's based on the last gestational period, that's not even entirely accurate because you can have your period, have sex 4 weeks later, and because you skip your period then, even though you've only been pregnant for 2 weeks, it'll still show you as pregnant. It's ridiculous. It's an unscientific law. All right, so let's see. What else does he have to say? Removes parental consent laws for minors. Yeah, even a minor has a right to their body, and if they don't want to be pregnant, they have the choice to decide that. Again, like it's this insane cognitive dissonance saying that minors are able to raise a child, but they can't make a choice about whether to have a child. Eliminates all regulations on abortion, including laws that protect women. That's not true. I mean, you still need out and inpatient care at an abortion clinic, which is ridiculous because most abortions are done just with pills, not with surgery. So there's no need for outpatient care. It also doesn't restrict laws on the crisis pregnancy centers, which are fake abortion clinics that harass women. All right. So eliminates Amendment 4 is bankrolled by far left radicals like George Soros. George Soros is not a far left radical. He is definitionally institutional. He is the establishment. And he partially funds it, but there are so many small dollars going to this. It is a really incredible organization that they have. No, and again, what's too extreme for Florida are all of these bills that actively hurt women and having mandatory waiting periods. That's ridiculous. I'm going to reply that. What hurts women are your lies and 6-week abortion bans before they even know they're pregnant. Boom. Reply. Okay. Thank you, Florida GOP. This amendment cannot pass. That's disgusting. It needs to pass. And it probably will. It has great support in the state. About damn time. There's a bug in here. Disgusting. Okay. Back. Again, if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask them about policy or anything. Jasmine Councilman Rory Diamond removes mayor's diversity chief from budget. DI is just government-sponsored racism. People of Jacksonville don't want it, and will do everything to fight against it. That is insane. DEI is government-sponsored racism. How is making sure we have diversity anything similar to racism? That it is quite literally the opposite of it. Again, with the cognitive dissonance. Quote, how is DEI, what should I say? You guys get to see behind the scene looks at Twitter. How is DEI? Who wants to give me a suggestion? If you're in the chat. How's DEI racist? It is literally ensuring more races have a seat at the table. I'm not so happy with that. How's DEI racist? All right. But Jacksonville is getting progressively bluer, which we like. The Democrats did amazing organizing up there and making sure that we could win it. Another Trump meltdown. Yeah, that was stupid. I don't know why he did that. And actually, it was great when Elon Musk failed at his launch. I was there in Miami, and we were screaming outside. It was a lot of fun protesting it. In nearly 3 decades of Republican control, they have realized that the only way to beat Democrats is before Election Day by changing the rules. Yeah, I fully endorse that. That's true. They have cut so many people off the voter rolls. They have made huge fines so that it is incredibly hard to register people to vote. Because if you get a single one deemed mishandled, that's a $50,000 fine, which is ridiculous. Somebody left the door open. All right. If you send your kids to public schools, they'll come back as a little Marxist. Oh, hi, bug. They'll come back as a little Marxist, little statists, little atheists, drag queens, strippers, drug dealers, you name it. Okay, look, as a teacher, like not even as a politician, I keep on saying the same thing. If you want your kids to do something, tell them to do the opposite. I mean, these people, like, the only people forcing this down anybody's throat are Republicans. I have a ton of gay friends. I have a ton of trans friends, and none of them talk about it nearly as much as any Republican I meet. And if you're scared of an idea, if you're scared of your kid learning an idea and you're scared of them taking it to heart without any critical thought, then talk to them about it. Banning it, making it taboo, never works on anything. Just talk to them. Now, nobody is pushing trans on your kids. That doesn't happen. Teachers have very little time to push education, to push the classes they're teaching on their kids. Nobody is pushing any sort of LGBTQ agenda. Okay. Close to vegetable stage. He can barely walk. All right. Hey, he's looking good there. He can ride a bike. Though, I mean, that should not be our standard, but I'm happy that he can ride a bike. Kamala in every single swing state, even Florida. Let me see. Yeah, up. That's incredible. This is because the people want progress. We don't want to continue backsliding. Thank you to my 5 people who are consistently viewing. I appreciate it. Unless that's just me, in which case, great. Great. Y'all agree? You think it's because we want progress? This Trump era isn't just defined by Donald Trump. It is also defined by a highly funded, highly organized group of right-wing extremists who are weaponizing every facet of government to fix their agenda. Yeah. Florida Dems out with a memo, blah, blah, blah. Truth about the voter and church gap and alleging. Okay. Trouble for Rick Scott for Florida. He's at 35% approval in an R plus 8 poll. Wow. Yeah, good. He's the worst. He steals from people constantly. I am glad that that sounds right that he's at that negative 35%. And look at him. He looks like somebody who'd steal your Medicaid money or Medicare money. Hey, look at that. Yeah. Underwater in every region of the state. Good. And Debbie is great. She's backed by the union. She cares about labor power. She cares about helping people. Ben, hi, Barbie. Would you like to join the stream? Email me, Ben at Ben Braver FL, if you want to join the stream. We'd love to have you. And this would be the first time we met. Showing that. Oh, y'all can't see the chat, can you? I can overlay it. I don't know if that makes this too small to see. I think it does. But Barbie, email me at Ben@BenBraverFL. All right, let's set up a time to do it. Ben@benbraver.org. Also, just message me on Twitter. Okay, just a quick glance at primary turnout. Florida Republicans lead Democrats in the early and mail-in vote by 6.13%. Well, you know what? For having a million more voters, 6.13% is actually pretty indicative of low Republican turnout. However, Democrats are much better about early vote turnout, but the Republicans have been pushing it lately, so this actually is hard to tell about what this means for the state. Of course, this is primary. Republican 45.99%, Democrat 39.86%. And yeah, okay, that's about 60,000 more. 12.942%, total 1,260,000. Great. 2 Massachusetts hospitals are closing and communities are suffering because of private equity's looting of Steward. Selling Massachusetts doctors to another private equity firm could be a disaster. We can't make the same mistake again. Regulators must scrutinize these deals. Yes, yet another example of monopoly power, monopolies lowering quality and raising prices. This is one of the main reasons I'm running for office, because I hate seeing monopolies lower quality and raise prices. If you love this country and are ready for the first Madam President, Kamala Harris, Echo also like and repost. Yeah, I'm ready for it, but I don't like doing that. I have trashed Trump to hell and back, but to vote for the modern Democratic Party is impossible. I'm voting for Trump, but I don't know how anyone conservative can vote for Harris. What is wrong with what of Harris's policy do you specifically disagree? Bam. Because honestly, I disagree with some of it. I really hope I didn't. Yeah, okay, that'd be scary if I misspelled that. Great. What a disgrace. Low rent grifter. Yeah, and they say DEI is to blame for inefficiencies. Gee, oh my good Lord. And they say DEI is to blame for budget. You locked yourself away? Fantastic. Email me. This is DEI is to blame for budget failures. Maybe we'll start doing GIFs. Oh, those are disgusting. Uh, yeah, sure, why not? Boom. Let's see. How do I share this with you? Copy invite link. Boom. All right, Barbie, can you send me your email? You know what? Maybe I'll just put it in our thing. But I'm putting y'all off for a second. You can read this. Have fun reading this, anybody in chat. It's interesting, I think. You don't get to see behind the scenes messages. Oh, okay. If anyone wants to join the live, Barbie and I are on. Boom. Okay, Barbie, I'm sending you a link now. What I won't be showing everybody on the stream is how messy my Gmail is. It is disgusting. Okay, boom, boom. Also, I've been worried that my email is going to spam. That would suck. Oh, it actually wouldn't be the first time we met. We met in Tallahassee when Jamie Harrison was here. Okay, I sent you the link. Thank you for the 8 loyal viewers. We appreciate you. You are officially braver for sticking around this long. Oh, we got 10 viewers now. Hello, everybody. Now let's go back to, you guys really like just MSNBC content, don't you? Home. Let's get a refresh in here. Boom. I'm using very old monitors, which sucks. Shared this tab instead. Yes. Nikki Haley is bashing the Trump campaign for running one of the weakest candidate races I've ever seen. Ooh.
It's not going to win talking about what race
Let me know.
Harris
Can y'all
is.
hear
It's
this?
not going to win talking about whether she's dumb. It's not. You
Sending
can't
yes
win on those
or
things.
anything.
The American people are smart. Treat them like they're smart.
Do you think that's not happening now? Do you think that this campaign is
Barbie,
floundering on
you
that
hear?
point?
I want this campaign to win. But the campaign is not going to win talking about crowd sizes. It's not going to win talking about what race Kamala Harris is. It's not going to win talking about whether she's dumb. It's not.
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a very busy but interesting day.
Tell me about it.
So I was out in the Villages today, which is a part of my district, and I did a press conference for the Harris Walls campaign with Debbie Mucarsel Powell, Representative Tom Keene, where we talked about how we not only would like to safeguard Medicare and Social Security, but also strengthen those programs. So it was very exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How'd you get in contact? Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them?
They reached out to me. I mean, I've been very lucky to have a few viral videos over the last couple weeks with the golf cart parade that we had out in the Villages and just all the excitement around that. So
everybody's talking about that. I mean,
everybody.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And
I love to see it because they are amazing out there.
And we really need to show how much energy there is in Florida for a progressive candidate. Because when we put like Charlie Crist up there, right? Nobody was excited, and that's why we saw low turnout. When we have Kamala Harris, somebody who looks like she's going to bring about change, everybody's excited about it. And we can actually see Florida could flip blue if we invested in this state.
Oh, absolutely. I have been I tell people all the time, banging my head against the wall since I've entered the race and kind of talked to people on the ground, even with, President Biden in the race. I was like, things have changed here. The data and the numbers that people are throwing out is not reflective of what's really going on. But then in the last few weeks that we've had Kamala Harris in the race, and I think it's just because, there wasn't that much excitement because it was just a repeat of 2020 and that was already a stressful experience. And it's like, oh no, we're here again and having to fight this battle again. But I think it's just a more exciting looking to the future and not having to wait another 4 years. And again, I love Joe. You can tell by my shirt. But yeah, it just brought an incredible energy to, I'm sure, the entire country, but especially here in Florida and in Central Florida where I'm at. So
Exactly. And I think one of the reasons it brought such a big energy is because the people had their voices heard. Like, yes, we like Joe, and he was an amazing president. Did a lot of great things. But 9 in 10 Americans didn't want him to be the nominee. And he heard us, and the DNC heard us, and they changed, And people like being in a democracy. They like their voices being heard.
Right. I think it was just like, and still, I think it's the most selfless act and just shows his true character that he was willing to take a step back to be able to protect the country and protect what the next 4 years are going to be like. And to me, that just says everything. Because I know somebody like Donald Trump or some of these other career politicians that are only worried about themselves and their power, and they would never do that. Absolutely never do that. I'm running against a man who should have retired a long time ago.
Who?
And I think including Republicans are like, why is he still running? And I know that he would never do what Joe Biden just did because he's too concerned with his own position and power and everything else. So
who are you running against again?
Daniel Webster.
Okay.
Who is the longest serving Florida legislator, 44 years, but he's only been in Congress for 13 years.
40
So, yeah, but he's the least effective member of Congress. So he's passed one bill in his 13 years, and that was about 2,200 days ago.
So as in, like, he only sponsored one bill that made it through Congress.
That made it into law, yes, and it was a glorified pamphlet. So
what was it? Like, what was it about?
It was like cybersecurity for small businesses, like making sure information got out. But again, was it important, life-changing, legislation that
no. So yes, it's not. Here's actually an interesting thing, though. We need to really beef up our cybersecurity because the main complaint I hear from people is their insurance. And one of the main drivers of insurance costs rising, besides just price gouging, literally people just stealing from us, is cybersecurity insurance is going up huge amounts because people are bad at cybersecurity. And that's actually one of the things we need to start teaching in schools, cybersecurity. We do it very little.
I think it's going to be, and it's already becoming a huge field as we have, attacks, national security issues with cybersecurity and what we're now seeing with ransom. And I think it's just going to be even bigger as things go on. And so it really is something that we have to focus on and work towards. But I'm not downplaying that what he did was, but I'm saying, like, to have done one thing in 13 years and that be your thing, it wasn't, changing the lives of people on an important level. But yes, that was his one bill that he's had passed in his 13 years while he's made about $2.3 million and has one of the highest absentee rates in all of Congress. So, yeah, I mean, really pushing all of that, letting people know, and people here on the ground they understand it. But
because these people don't represent the people, right? They represent corporate interests.
Absolutely.
And those corporate interests want him to do nothing, to keep the status quo. And that's what he did.
Right. And I
Yeah.
mean, I will say that, I think the biggest thing is going to be, I don't think it's going to be the fact that he doesn't do anything, even though it should. This year, what's going to make a difference is abortion being on the ballot and him being a man who his entire career has not only tried to limit women's rights, but he's a person that doesn't even believe in any type of birth control, no IVF access, nothing.
Really, he's that far right?
Yeah, he's a member of the Institute of Basic Life Principles, which is the same like religion that the Duggar family is a part of. When he became Speaker of the House in Florida, one of his first things that he did was issued a modesty dress code for women that worked in the Florida legislature and the staff members, which is apparently, I learned today, somebody told me it's still in place. So
that is
a dress
insane.
code for staff members. That was one of the first things he did as Speaker of the House.
What? So they couldn't have like their ankles showing or something?
I think it's like you can't have like your sleeves have to be so thick, and you can't have too short of skirts or all of those things. But it's the things that I keep learning are just it's really bad. So
It's disgusting.
yeah, it's crazy.
And when was this?
Okay, so I think he was elected Speaker of the House in 96 or around there. He was first elected to the Florida House in 1980 when my mom was 11.
And here's the thing. Cell phones barely existed back then. Now, people's entire life. I literally practically run my campaign from my cell phone.
Absolutely.
Right? The world it's a brave new world. I was talking about it got banned in Collier County, and I actually had it behind me, so I was talking about it. But like, it's literally a new world. If you started being a representative in 1980, you just don't have the real world experience to be legislating people's lives right now.
Yeah. His kids have never been in any type of school. They were homeschooled their whole life, which there's nothing wrong with but I'm saying like he's the person we have to thank for the homeschool expansion and legalization here in Florida. He really pushed that. He's the one that proposed it, and funding from the states. He's the one that, like, a lot of this Project 2025 stuff is stuff that he tried to do here in Florida back in the 80s and the 90s, like removing no fault divorce, making it harder for women to be able to divorce their husbands by pushing legalization of covenant marriage, which has been shown to really affect women in abusive situations and abusive marriages. But that is all him. So
he is one of the most evil people I have ever heard of.
Well, I mean, he's able to hide it. He's able to keep his extremism kind of behind closed doors and downplay it. But he's always tried to say it'll never affect the way I vote. What I believe personally.
My values?
Yes, but unfortunately, if you look at the way he votes, that's not true. So he's a big proponent of life begins at conception, which we know will really drastically affect IVF and women's rights and things like that, which is important to me. I had a son with a rare genetic condition that passed away 2 years ago when he was 2 years old. And my 3 surviving children are all carriers of the genetic disease. So they'll have to rely on IVF with genetic testing one day if they choose to have children. So protecting IVF is more personal for me now just because of that situation. So, but they make it seem like we're trying to play God or eugenics or I want a blonde hair, blue-eyed baby. No, that's not what it is. We just don't want children to suffer and die needlessly.
I was an IVF child too. I'm a test tube baby. I wasn't natural born.
There you go.
It's an important way to ensure that there's more life. Shouldn't they be wanting to protect life too? And like, the absolutely disgusting thing is that they're not only forcing women to remain pregnant at this point, they're forcing women to get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Contraceptives are a way to prevent pregnancy, not terminate it even, right? And like, it's insane they won't let you prevent getting pregnant in the first place. That is such an obsessive level of control with people's bodies that only somebody who would institute a dress code for the female workers would actually do. And then the private school, like, I'm a teacher, like it's a private business, right? First of all, education shouldn't be for profit. It should be to educate, and that's it. And when we sell our kids' futures to a business, all they care about is getting the money, not about educating. And why are they against helping out small businesses in every single context except when it's a private, usually Catholic school? It's so weird. And
I think it's the financial backing. So
yeah,
I can't think of any other reason. It's the special interests. It's where the money and the donations come, especially as I see his donations come and where they're coming from. It's like, okay. So yeah, I mean, he really, that's one thing that I just have to like keep pushing to people, is that they just don't realize like how horrible some of these things are. And you know, that one of those extremist groups here, and that the Florida chapter, their lifetime achievement award that they give to politicians who, you know, uphold their values of marriage is one man, one woman, anti-LGBTQ, anti-abortion, like all down the list. And it's the Daniel Webster Lifetime Achievement Award. So that they pass out to politicians in Florida that promote those ideals. And they literally named the award after him. So it's something that just really trying to inform people of who they have voting for them, because if people really knew, it would not be good. So
what policy do you want to implement when you get to Congress?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I think that I would love to pass the border security bill that they are preventing right now, because obviously we have to get better funding down there, get a lot of situations, but we need to take care of it with dignity and, you know, respectfully, but also responsibly. Obviously, you know, making sure we make Roe v. Wade the law of the land. I want to make sure that our wealthy pay their fair share so that we can strengthen Medicare, Social Security. So I think those are the biggest things, and a lot of the things that we're already seeing that are really helping people, people like me, everyday working middle class Americans that are not represented in Congress by our politicians, but that we have voices that help us and help us deal with kind of the unaffordability crisis that we're seeing. I know here in Florida, a lot of that's going to be taken care of by people like you in the state house, but there's things that we can do at the federal level that are going to help across the board.
Because in this, well, I'm going in the state Senate, what we need to do.
Yes, sorry.
Good. I just have to make sure that people on the live know benbraver.org to help me get to state Senate. But and if you want to shout out your website in chat,
BarbieForCongress.com.
BarbieForCongress.com. Now, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, in the state Senate, we need to restore the $10 billion that were taken out of the Sadowski fund by my opponent, which would have built 97,000 more homes or housing units in the state to, you know, increase the supply and lower the cost. We need to put that back there, and to do that, we need more money from HUD. So please give me.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that there are so many ways, and we're seeing our governor turn away much needed money at the federal level, and people like you are going to help make sure that we can really get the money and the funds that we need here in Florida. So I think that's important.
So it's turning away federal funds, which, like, they say, like, we're saving the tax dollars. We just paid those tax dollars in order to get these services.
Right.
It's an insane leap in logic to say, no, we're going to refuse your money.
It's like they're acting like they're gonna turn around and like reissue checks to every person. Like, look at the money we saved you. No, it goes to somebody else. It doesn't come, we're literally turning away money. But I think you were talking about while you were scrolling and the registration numbers in Florida, and I called it several weeks ago, and I said they're gonna hit the 1 million mark before the primaries. And one reason is because here in Lake and Sumter County, which is Sumter County is the Villages, they have Republicans with these extremist people that they know that Democrats are going to vote against in the primary, in an open primary. So they're fielding write-in candidates to be able to close the primaries off. So the Lake Democrats and the Sumter Democrats have switched their party affiliation to be able to vote in the Republican primaries, and then we'll switch them back after the primaries are over. So you will see a drop. Obviously, that's only a certain number, but I've heard people saying it's happening all across Florida because that's their new tactic and that's the way around it.
Same thing in Jacksonville.
Yeah. So I think that was what put them over, but it's going to turn right back around. But another example of why I think we're seeing the NPA and the independent numbers go up while Dem numbers go down, again, aside from them purging the rolls. So I learned that there was a Florida Rare Disease Advisory Council here that you could get appointed to as a caregiver or a parent, and those positions were open. Oh, and I was like, oh, that'd be great. There's like 3 positions open. I'll see if I can get on it. And I was told, you're a registered Democrat. There's no way that you will get approved or appointed by the governor, by Speaker of the House, by the Senate Majority Leader, because you're a registered Democrat. So if you seriously want to get appointed, you're going to have to change your party affiliation. And a lot of the people I've talked to that are independents or third parties, I'm like, well, why did you change? Well, because of the county that we're in a very red county. I had to change my affiliation because if I want to do anything with the state, if I want to be appointed to anything with the state or work in certain businesses or get certain contracts, I was told you cannot be a Democrat. So they're changing their party affiliation to third party or to Republican. So I think that other than purging the rolls, I think that those 2 things are also playing into that number. So
yeah. And the amount of like government overreach into like just our information, basically, like it shouldn't matter, and the amount of control that the state has placed over that is disturbing. I mean, our basic obviously shouldn't be that politicized, right?
Anybody who wants to work or get a contract or with the counties, with some of these cities, with the state, if they are a registered Democrat, it's not going to happen. So they're changing their party affiliation.
No, I'll also say I think that people are just tired of the 2-party system, like a lot of cases, and they don't trust either party to do what's best for them. And I don't entirely blame them for that. I mean, I would never trust the Republican Party, ever. They've always been atrocious. But they haven't seen, even when we have Democratic control, and of course we know that a lot of it is Republican stalling. They haven't seen the change they want to see, and so they're just tired of it. And the amount of propaganda that gets pumped into their brain, just the dis and misinformation into all Americans, they're just tired of seeing the same parties that they've seen so many horrible things about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
How is your race going?
It is going fantastic. We have been talking to a ton of people. We're starting town halls, which
Incredible.
will be
I had my first town hall on Sunday, so yeah, I mean, those are some very interesting experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the question that you got?
Okay, well, mine was put on by a local church here in Lake County, and it was majority Republican candidates. So it was an interesting, and I knew kind of going into it, I may be walking into the lion's den here. So it was very interesting, some of the questions, but people were pretty respectful and, get up there and they asked the Dobbs question, the abortion question, and we were supposed to raise our hands because it was myself, another of the Republican challengers in my race, and then it was all House and Senate candidates here in Florida. So, and we have I'm sure you've heard the drama in Lake County with the lawsuits between Republicans, and it's really bad. So we had, those candidates on the stage, and so it was a little bizarre. But when they asked that question and all of the Republican candidates are just sitting there, and I immediately throw my hand up in the air and I'm like, I'm not ashamed to answer this question. And of course, you get just blank stares back because you're in a church setting in a very red county, very red area. So, but I wasn't, I'm not going to try and hide what I believe in and what I'm fighting for. So, and then of course, after that is when you have all the Republican candidates full stop, I'm pro-life and everything. But
so about the not hiding what you're fighting for, most people I've met do say what they actually believe. Now, most people in power that I've met don't, but most candidates I've met do. And the other day I was at the Hillsborough County School Board meeting. Do you know about the tax that we were going to give to our the millage tax we're going to put on the ballot? There's a millage tax that we're going to put on the ballot, and it got passed through whatever thing it needed. And then the county commission said, okay, so we have to put this on the ballot, but it doesn't say when. So we'll push it back to 2026, which is insane. So our school board said, no, you have to put this on the initiative. They won a lawsuit. You have this on the ballot. They won a lawsuit for it, and the county commission still said no, and they have to appeal it now. It's so insane because it's just letting people vote on it. It's not putting it into place, just letting us vote on it.
Right. But that's the whole, what we're seeing in the last couple of years. And it's, these extremist things. And then when it gets overturned through lawsuits and struck down, how much money have we spent on defending these lawsuits and these horrible laws and bills here in Florida that are just the DeSantis extremist agenda. And, we're just wasting money when they know what's going to happen. They know it's going to turn right back around and get struck down. But still, it's ridiculous. Some of just the games. And I think people are sick of that. People are sick of just stop playing games with our lives, stop the political nonsense, and just get stuff done that's really going to help us. So
exactly.
I
Everyone just wants their road fixed. Everyone just wants healthcare, which, Germany's had since 1887, universal healthcare. We're the richest country on earth. Why can't we pay for our healthcare?
Yeah, that's why those arguments don't work anymore. It's like every other modern Western country, and they're all doing it, and they're fine. And we're over here unhealthy, debt-ridden, and it's just the profits at this point.
It's the cause of half of all U.S. bankruptcies.
Right.
If there was anything else that was a cause of half of all reasons that somebody goes entirely broke, we'd get rid of it. Actually, we wouldn't, because it's student debt, and we don't get rid of that. But
true. I guess if it was corporate bankruptcies, then they would fix it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I have a question for you. There's one policy that I love talking about, but it's because I'm an economics nerd, that I haven't really introduced. So also 18 people watching, hi, you're going to hear about it for the first time. So do you know about public banking?
Public banking?
And postal banking?
I think so. I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so from 1911 to 1960, there were banks in the post offices. And it was great because then people had a place to store their money. When you have very little money, like now, you and don't have a place to put it, it's hard to, one, find work, because a lot of places are direct deposit, and you can't cash a check anywhere except for Amscot, which will charge you insane fees. And if you need a small loan, like you'd get from your bank, but just overdrafting a little bit, you have to spend 300% interest on it.
Right.
And it's one of the ways that people are kept in these huge cycles of poverty, right?
Right.
And so what I want to do, because I was looking it up, North Dakota has a state bank, they're the only state with a publicly owned bank. It'd be a moonshot, but I'd want a state bank in Florida. Post offices are already, the infrastructure's there. They already do money orders, so they have the banking system there. And it helped the 20% of Floridians that are underbanked.
That I will have to look into that. That's an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my 3-year-old is now.
No, you're totally
Hi,
good.
honey.
Because we literally have these predatory institutions preying on our people, stealing their money.
Yeah, I think so too. Sorry, this is Brady. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi.
So I will probably have to go, but
Totally good.
I've enjoyed this. We can do it again.
Uh-huh.
Bye,
All right.
everybody.
Have a great day, Barbie.
You too.
I think you just have to hang up. Sorry, I believe my first time using this software.
Yeah, I can't. I think I'm frozen or something. I can't go.
Let me try removing you. I'm kicking you out. Bye. Okay, that was fun. We're going to go back to Twitter. I'm tired. It is my second day teaching, which is a lot of fun, but the kids are crazy. Okay. Let me add this. Screen share. Boom, I'm learning. Is this working? No, it's not. Sorry, guys, we're having technical difficulties. And if anybody wants to ask me any questions about what it's like running for office, please do. Presentation, is that it? No. Summary. No, that yes, facts indeed. This is really annoying. I hope I don't lose all my audience. I appreciate y'all for sticking around. Screen share. Boom. Not working. Okay. New scene. Add screen share. Is this going to work? It's still not working. Well, we only did an hour stream and I am tired, but I don't really want to end. Demonstration, maybe? The chat's on. We don't really need that. Cover. Okay, can I add this? This is insane. But I appreciate y'all for sticking around. Maybe if I add scene, media. Oh, boom. We got it. I'm a genius. Some Republicans use that in an ad, say that I'm too self-confident. Screen share. Share. Okay, is this working? Oh, wait. No. Could this be it? Could we have found it? It's still live. Add source. Yeah, it's not going to work. Let's say image. I did this with my kids today. You guys get to see a thing if this works. Oh, okay. So the image will work. There's one thing I did with my science class today. It was pretty fun. It was a good activity. Okay, let's see if we can replace that with screen share. And then with, how about just that? Share. All right, boom. I am tired and hungry. Have we, boom, that looks much better. And I like being up top. All right, cool. Let's go through some more tweets. Twitter, that was a pretty fun way to do it. Oh, 24 people watching. Hey, everybody, we're just getting in here. Florida City Councilman nixes DEI chief in budget vote. So stupid. And now they're running. Oh. We saw this exact tweet earlier in stream, and they edited it or posted a new one to make it seem less bad for the Republicans. So they put in that, this insane. All right, is a lot more accurate than what I've been seeing in public lately. Yeah, accurate to your beliefs. That doesn't make it actually true. This is a classic example of putting personal feelings ahead of facts. All right, the South Carolina Freedom Caucus is the first to say they're helping, not harming children, yet the allegations against one of their own showed otherwise. Rights on the church warrant served. Okay. If it's a Freedom Caucus, I'm guessing that's the alt-right caucus, in which case, yeah, I'm willing to believe they are harming, not helping. Gen Z for Change. Gen Z is a pretty cool place. Ooh, let's see what their website looks like. That's fun. Share this tab instead. Good graphics. Gen Z for Change. Wow, good number of followers. That's pretty cool. Yeah, show y'all. El Cambio. Cool. So, oh, now this. Love now this. People over Prime. Should learn about them. All right, this is very cool. Love Gen Z for Change. They're a great organization. There's a lot of really good work. All right. Going back to Twitter. Share this tab instead. I was at a conference called Voters of Tomorrow last year, and one of their activists at Gen Z for Change interrupted Biden's press secretary and talked about climate change. And it was really impactful. It was like, now the press secretary did a really good job of handling it, but she was right. Biden should not have been giving out that many new drilling licenses. Santis backs Florida for Congress. Yeah, that is the least surprising news I've ever heard. The acting state attorney threw out my policy of seeking mandatory minimums against felons with a legal gun. They just saw another case of bad guy with gun getting probation. Maybe that's why violent crime is up. Not policy looked into this. Mandatory minimums, I don't think, are very good policy. But I like Andrew Warren, but mandatory minimums don't do great things usually. When will Florida is, even if it's something that bad, when will Florida's grifting of higher education end? Is truly shameful. Oh my God, yeah, it's Ben Sass is atrocious. He was literally just picked as a political appointee for a place of education. How terrible. All right, Gen Z is energized. Absolutely, we are. I mean, we see a candidate that has similar views to us. We're excited about that. She could be doing better. She could be more progressive, but she needs to be. Donald Trump's conversation with MAGA billionaire Elon Musk blows up in their faces. The United Auto Workers Union files federal labor charges against them for publicly celebrating fire workers who threatened to strike. Good. Firing workers who are threatening to strike is absolutely disgusting. Workers deserve more rights. Turn Texas blue. That's cute. Notification. Ooh, I got some business cards in the mail that might have just been delivered. Really good business cards, by the way. While you're watching the tea with Obama. All right. I don't support this kind of protest. I understand its point. The problem is you are actively hurting people, which also understand that, like, yeah, the U.S. is actively funding blowing up children in Gaza, which is horrendous. Yeah, but in Florida, they passed HB1, which means that it's kind of legal to run over a protester doing this. Disgusting. How many times is the DOJ letting... Yeah, I mean, like, the Republican Party is the party that lets the government and lets people kill more people. How many times is the DOJ going to let Trump start to steal elections before there's an arrest? Good question. I mean, if we were really a country of law and order, we would see the obvious attempts that Trump has to steal an election and control it. Our volunteers keep killing the organizing game, just like, yeah, woo. Voters of Tomorrow, great. That was the organization I was with when I saw Doug Jones the other month. Really good person. I also have his book over here somewhere. It's somewhere here. Arcing towards justice, bending towards justice, something like that. Everyone has decided Tim Walz is a huge yimby, despite him doing nothing of consequence on the issue. I wonder let's see, what has Tim Walz done for affordable housing? Tim Walz, affordable housing. $1 billion housing investment. Yeah, that's pretty big. $1 billion. Excuse me. $1 billion is pretty good. Okay, great. More landlord-tenant laws. $2 billion dedicated to housing and homelessness. That's good. How much is Florida spending? I think a lot less. For a bigger state. The $1 billion housing omnibus bill, 850. Wow. That's incredible. If we had an 850% increase in Florida's housing budget, oh my God, people would be able to afford to live here. And with a vice president and president that care about that, we could absolutely help the country. So this is just wrong. Let me boom. Quote. Absolute. Oh, you're not on here. Sorry, everybody. Absolutely wrong. Tim Walz increased the Minnesota where is it? Tim Walz increased the Minnesota Housing Finance Agencies. My laptop is broken. I'm on like a monitor from 2008. It's really bad. Increase the Minnesota Housing Finance budget by 850%. Do your research. Boom. Post. I don't know if this viewer count is accurate. Because still have 24 people, but nobody's asked me a question in the comments. If you want to learn about my policy, well, I mean, you're seeing a lot of it, but ask me. If you want to know what it's like to be a Gen Z candidate, ask me. If you want to know anything else, ask me. The miracle Trump reflects on how oh my God. The amount that he uses Christianity to fake his narratives is it's disgusting. All the time with women's rights. EU congresswoman can do both shuck and eat her own. Okay. Protesters, if not now. Yep. Already saw that. Republicans overtook Democrats in Sarasota County total vote today. Usually happens in, okay. Yeah, it's not great. Few good thing. Took climate change out of the state law. I'll be worried about it. Yeah. It's terrible they took that out of the law. I mean, we is a fact, and he actively removed it. Drop a heart if, yeah, great. Endorsement alert. Ooh, amazing. Congratulations, Whitney Fox. He won't apologize for that. Yeah, I mean, Republicans Against Trump actually does some pretty good content. I like a lot of what they post. In the last several weeks, I found out Black Job. Okay. Mel Gibson and Carrie Lake. Yeah, I mean, the one thing they're attacking Harris on is that he only served for 24 years. Like, that is the worst attack that they've ever done. You've only served for 24 years. How ridiculous. They have nothing to run on. Walmart profits jumped to 15 billion in 2023. Jeez. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. We need state. We need stronger antitrust laws and more rights for labor. And stronger unions. Okay, I don't know how rate limiting works. I don't know if it's bad to post this much at once. Anybody know in chat? It's the first time I've ever said chat. It's funny. Profile. You know what's weird? My camera does not work on this. I mean, my screen doesn't work on my laptop, but I've been using it and it's kind of been, but the camera works, which is weird. Oh, wow. Still here. It's fun. What else? All right.